And it is time for game number 1 of the finals of the 250th YCS in Los Angeles, California. Here comes that die roll.
Oh, we're going to use different dice this time. We're going to use the golden dice. All right.
11, that's a high number. Not going to be enough for Jesse, so Pauly will be taking the lead here and going first.
And he opens up with 5 spells, but one of them's a terraforming. That's as good as a monster.
Indeed it is. I see a birth also, Book of Moon. Let's see if he leads off with that terraforming. Maybe he'll just go straight into the Pressure Planet Rathos, maybe worried about something like Droll and Lockbird.
Oh, does he have a planet as well?
Yep, it does look like he does. So yeah, instead of using the terraforming, he's going to hold off on it. There's an argument to be made for using the terraforming, maybe to bait out something like Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, and then you can follow it up by activating that Pressure Planet Rathos.
Yeah, are we really going to see Droll and Lockbird in game 1? That feels more like more of a side deck call.
We've seen it this weekend, but yeah, definitely in this finals matchup, especially when you know your opponent's probably on a Naturia Rune deck, it would be surprising to see that Droll and Lockbird coming down. But it looks like he's going to start with Kashtira Fenrir. That's going to special summon out in defense mode. He already has a copy of Kashtira Theosis in the hand, so he doesn't need to go for Unicorn right away to add it. Now the Fenrir effect's going to activate, so he's going to add a Kashtira monster from the deck to the hand. Planning out the path for his plays here.
Man, he's already got the birth in hand as well.
Definitely a strong hand for Pauly. Grabs Kashtira Rise Heart.
Activates Theosis next.
That's going to let him special summon a Kashtira monster of a different attribute than Fenrir. Looks like it's going to be Kashtira Unicorn. And then that's going to allow him to add a Kashtira spell. Going to grab a copy of Kashtira Birth. Definitely not short on spell cards.
Yeah, it's nice being able to search a birth when you already have one.
Indeed. Now he's going to overlay here for, it looks like, a Shangra Ira.
And it looks like he's going to try to start locking up zones.
Yep, he's going to use Rise Heart's effect to banish Kashtira Big Bang, and then that's going to banish the top 3 cards of Jesse's deck face down. So now he can trigger the effect of Kashtira Big Bang, which will allow him to take one of the materials underneath Shangra Ira, either add it to the hand, and then he can special summon it to the field. So that's going to lock out one zone. Now, since Shangra Ira activates effect, he can use Pressure Planet Rathos to target the Shangra Ira to destroy it, but then Shangra Ira's effect can protect itself. So that will put the Kashtira Unicorn to the graveyard.
Rise Heart comes up next because Shangri-La was activated successfully. You can use the single monster to play it. Birth is activated. And now we can combine these two to make
Diabolus the Mind Hacker.
Yeah, that's got to be Diabolosis.
So he's going to be able to take a peek into Jesse's extra deck, maybe going after the Baron de Fleur. Seems like a good one. Taking a moment to consider the options, though. He does have a lot of one-ofs, so which whenever he can pick could really cut off part of his strategy. And he's going for Exciton Knight.
Yeah, the field clearing effect.
Big fan of Exciton Knight. So this is going to trigger a Rise Heart to attach a material. It's a mandatory effect, so that'll go first on the chain. Shangra Ira is going to trigger since he banished a card face down to lock out a zone. And then the Diabolus is going to trigger to banish the top, however many cards from the top of his deck that he has banished.
And then we're going to do it all again.
Probably going after Jesse's main monster zones here. He's going to be able to get to 3 materials under a Rise Heart.
Goes Terraforming next.
Yep, might as well thin your deck out of that Pressured Planet Wraith, so it's not something you want to draw next turn.
And that banishes a card as well, which will put it underneath the Rise Heart.
Yep, can't get enough materials under a Rise Heart. It's going to set one card face down.
Now it's interesting, there's actually just no protection here right now, because the Shangri-La is empty.
That
Can't
is true.
attach material.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4 materials under a Rise Heart. Alright, now Jesse will draw for turn. He didn't activate any cards from his hand, so it looks like during the standby phase, Pauly's going to activate Shangri-Ira's effect to summon Fenrir from the deck. It's definitely a strong start here for Pauly. Now we'll see how Jesse's going to be able to respond. He does play a lot of cards in his main deck that are able to break boards. We'll see if he's going to be able to have access to them as well. Only has the 3 monster zones locked. Still a lot you can do with 2 monster zones, at least to find a way to get the Shangri-Ira off the field.
And we do know that Jesse plays multiple cards that can do it. He's got some Gamma Seals, he's got Kurikara. Monster's already activated its effect here, in this case the Shangri-Ira. That got somebody in trouble in the finals in Europe.
I know, I wish I got to watch that match.
Sounded like a fun one.
Maybe we'll get to see some more Kurikara action here in our finals in the NA, but you did call it. It is a Gamma Seal. That turtle's going to come down. It looks like he's going to tribute it over the Arise Heart.
So Rise Heart's gone. I wonder if he also has Kurikara to get the Shangri-Ira.
I'm looking at, I see a bunch of spell cards in the hand.
Yeah, just getting the Arise Heart out, though, is not bad. That Fenrir's only going to activate off of monster effects. If you got a big pile of spells, it's not too bad.
Next up is Runick Fountain. Yeah, with the Arise Heart gone, he'll be able to put the Runick spells in the graveyard now. Gonna activate Runick Tip. Does Pauly have a response here? I don't think we know what his face down spell or trap card is, but it doesn't look like there's anything he's going to do in response to Runick Tip.
I think it's a Book of Moon.
Oh yeah, we did see that in his hand, right? Not going to be too useful against the Naturia deck, I don't think. Now Runick Tip's going to cause Pauly to banish the top card of his deck.
And it is the other Rise Heart.
Any search one that destroys the spell on the monster?
Yes.
So he added Flashing Fire from that Runick Tip.
Flashing Fire can destroy a special summoned monster.
Destruction. Charging the birth.
And now he's going to activate Runick Destruction to go after that face down spell and trap card. Or maybe he's going for Birth. Birth does have a cool effect if your opponent activates a spell card. You can just banish 3 cards from their graveyard.
Pretty relevant when you need to return 3 cards in your graveyard to draw some cards.
Indeed. It looks like he's chaining Flashing Fire. Imagine he's targeting Kashtira Fenrir.
Chain Slumber to summon.
And now he's chaining Runick Slumber to summon a Runick monster from the extra deck.
One big chain here, very interesting. It's going to resolve, starting with Hugin.
So, that one resolves anything as a 2 from my deck?
Yes.
And that was 4?
And then Flashing Fire resolves, going to destroy the Fenrir. That banishes 4. Well, 2 here, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's a lot of pots in a row. It's a lot of them.
Definitely is.
Oh. Last match I was playing against you, he's left-handed, so we had it switched. Now I gotta switch back.
Fountain 1 will be targeting the tip.
Okay, so he did go out to the Kashtira birth knowing that it had that effect to banish from the graveyard. Smart plays here from Jesse.
Yep, he's going to get to reload that hand.
The destruction, and then Hugin will be 2. Hugin will be 2.
So I think he did Chainlink 1 Fountain, Chainlink 2 Hugin to discard a card from the hand to attempt to add a Runick Fountain from the deck to the hand.
So we're going to get the new fountain, shuffle up.
0. Oh, now 1, yes. And I targeted the tip, the... I'm so sorry, I forget.
It's okay. Whichever one you want.
Do you remember the ones I said, Judge?
And then we're going to put the 3 targets on the bottom of the deck and draw 3.
I think I said destruction. Okay. Yeah. Draw 3.
1, 2, and 3. Got a full hand again.
Next up is Foolish Burial Goods. This is going to allow him to access the Naturia part of his deck and be able to send down Naturia Sacred Tree, and then allow him to add a Naturia card from the deck to the hand. Looks like he's going for Naturia Mole Cricket. And that will lead to the normal summon of the Mole Cricket. He's going to tribute off the field, and since Pauly has the highest attack monster on the field, he'll be able to special summon 2 Naturia monsters from the deck to the field. Still has 2 zones to use.
Here we go, Camellias and Camellias. It makes Book of Moon a little worse here. Because you, like, the target in that case has to be the Hugin, but then you leave yourself open to Xyz monsters. And this is interesting because Paul knows everything that's left in the extra deck, assuming that he's been able to retain the information. I, for one, have not.
He knows the Exiton's gone, at least, which would be a pretty good rank 4 here.
Yeah, the Exton would have been great here, so that's a good choice
Heads up.
by Jesse taking it out, or Pauly taking it out.
I'm gonna
Looks like he is going to activate that set Book of Moon, targeting Hugin, as you said would probably happen there, Jerome. And now Jesse's going to need an Xyz monster.
So can't synchro summon with 2 tuners.
That's fine.
Not going to be able to link summon because he doesn't have that extra monster zone to use either.
Resolve the tree.
Now he did send down Sacred Tree from one of these Camellias on summon, and that's going to add Naturia Blessing.
Now we still got 2 level 4s here. I think you got to try to keep going here. Free up those zones a bit. Maybe get Diablosis off the field. So maybe... Yeah, I don't really want to just
Dugaris.
pass like this. So I was
Yeah.
thinking Dugaris.
Thinking.
Is negating the effect of Shangri-La after the fact doesn't stop it.
Nope, got to get it off the field or face down. Something like that. And now, let's see. I mean, I think his only option is Dugaris here. I don't think there's really too many other things he can do.
So 3 zones.
An awful lot of graveyard checking for just 6 cards.
Or use that card.
And we are doing the Xyz summon here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the only available monster to him in his extra deck. Oh no, it looks like he has a couple options.
Yeah, the thing's a Baguska.
Ooh, number 41 is one of my favorites,
He's
but
a really good card on the banishes.
I mean, I don't think you want to put Baguska out because once you see Baguska, those nice, comfy pillows.
I would just go to sleep. I'm the terribly tired Depier right now.
Checks his face down banished cards again. Useful to make sure you don't illegally activate anything, but we are going to need an Xyz monster here.
Oh, it looks like he's going to go for the Baguska.
There was a third monster.
Yeah, no, I can see it as long as he's got something to deal with the Shangri-La. Like eventually he has to get rid of this thing.
Mm-hmm. Now it looks like that's going to be it. Just going to be Baguska set a back row pass. Pauly draws for turn.
So you get basically a couple turns of reprieve here.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no problem. In the draw phase. Let's see. So we can still activate it. In the draw phase, I'm going to use.
All right, looks like in the draw phase he's going to use Smiting Storm from the hand.
It's not the best one.
Smiting Storm is what? Banish cards up to the number your opponent controls?
Yep. Not the strongest of the runic spells, but still runic spell name.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not bad.
It's a unicorn and a Tearlament's Kashtira.
Target 3.
So he's going to be able to resolve Fountain here to draw some new cards. 1, 2, 3.
Let's see what it is.
Still
Still in draw phase.
activate destruction targeting the race of.
So he's going to go for Destruction targeting the Pressure Planet Raceoth. Unfortunately for him, Pauly has another one in hand. He knows it too because he activated Terraforming for it on that last turn.
Banish 4.
He might be just trying to get key cards out of Pauly's deck right now.
There have been a lot of cards lost. Like this is the full-on deck out strategy here.
Both these players are banishing top cards of their opponent's decks.
You got to get it done while that Baguska is active.
Still thinking in draw phase. Stand by. Activate this flare. It's negated, but that way we use Shangri this turn. Main phase 1.
Still activates the Shangri-La effect so that using one material for a Rise Heart is still live later in the turn. It's smart. Something you got to remember to do.
Oh yeah, definitely heads up for sure. And now he's moving on to his next play after careful consideration. It's going to be an enemy controller. He's going to treat off. That's not your Imbecile. I love the main deck enemy controller. That's pretty cool. Left, right, A, B, enter the code. And he's probably going to go after. You can take the Baguska and just turn it into attack mode.
Is that his draw for the turn, the enemy controller?
Might have been. He's going to take the Baguska. That would make sense because, yeah, I feel like if he already had it, he would have set it maybe as a defensive option to sort of disrupt the opponent. But you could always just hold it in your hand because if you're not planning on using it defensively, there's an argument for that as well. But I don't recall seeing it in that hand. It would be quite a good top deck to draw when you're facing down a Baguska. Because now that it's in attack mode, all the monsters do not have to stay in defense mode. Activates the field spell, Pressure Planet Raceoth. Doesn't have too many cards in his deck.
But a lot of the ones that are left are ones that he can take. And it looks like it's going to be Scareclaw Kashtira.
Sure.
Not too many left. Not too many left.
20 minutes already into the round, and we're still sitting here in game number 1 of the finals.
The scores haven't changed, but in this case it feels
Like-
more like their decks are their life points.
It does. Who's going to lose all their cards the fastest?
You're fine.
Is he going to activate? I don't know. Did he activate the Ebolas? I think so. I saw material get detached, so I can only assume he's activating the effect, and now Jesse's considering his options. No response. Pauly's going to take a look at that extra deck and banish a card. Looking at Hugin.
Now, right now, with that Hugin face down, special summoning from the extra deck with Runick spell, not really concern. But, presumably he's just going to destroy it next.
So it's going to trigger Shangri-Ira to lock another zone. Now, this is going to be a lot of cards, because Debo's going to banish the top cards off Jesse's deck equal to the number of cards he already has banished face down.
And that'll hit the rest of the monster zones as well. The final monster zone.
Sure.
Resolution of that. 1, 2, thinking on target. No, so for this, I'm going to target that zone. And for this, I'm going to target, thinking.
All right, so they're finally going to target here, and it's going to target the one. I mean, the choice was the Runick Fountain or the face down. He goes for the face down spell or trap card, and it's Naturia Blessing.
So you can Blessing to summon into that zone before it gets locked out.
Yeah, and then it doesn't resolve because it, resolution?
We already know. I mean, he has another copy of Kashtira Birth. Like, you can activate this Kashtira Birth pretty freely from the hand. I guess he does still have to worry about the Runick Fountain. Maybe Jesse has something like Runick Destruction in the hand that could counter the Kashtira Birth, but it doesn't look like he is going to respond to it. So the Kashtira Birth is going to allow him to, considering his options yet again, going to take a peek at his own extra deck. Maybe check the graveyard. Maybe check his opponent. Oh, I called it. He is going to go check the graveyard after checking his extra deck. Maybe check his opponent's graveyard. But no, picking up the graveyard to finally use the Birth to summon a Fenrir. Sometimes you just overthink things. Like, you just don't want to outthink yourself when you're in these matches. It's just, sometimes it's the plays are pretty straightforward, but there is a lot on the line here in the finals. So a lot of pressure for both these players, who are both taking their time. Another check of this graveyard.
Yeah, so now that the Fenrir is active, he's looking to see what can he go and get. Like, what's even left?
His deck is pretty small. He's lost a number of cards. Decides, just to touch the banished cards. Quick touch.
It's just like a unicorn left.
I think you're right. That's what it looks like. Maybe one more Fenrir? Nah. Yeah, there's a Fenrir also, so it looks like a Fenrir and a unicorn. Adds the Fenrir. You want to make sure you shuffle your opponent's 6 cards that he has left in his deck well.
You did it on the, this.
Who's this turn? Thank you. Thank you.
Gonna go check the graveyard one more time. Make sure nothing's changed in there. Considering his options.
Turn his Diablosis to attack mode.
Now that he's made an action, he's going to consider his actions. He's going to consider his next move. Shuffles the hand.
Probably want to get rid of that Baguska.
Normal summons the Fenrir. Or, sorry,
No tribute required.
it's Unicorn. Yeah, sorry. That's Theosis. Yep. I don't think the deck has changed since the last time he offered to shuffle. But
Yeah, this is tense because he just doesn't have that many cards left in his deck. It's
if he doesn't,
conceivable that Jesse could deck him out.
yeah, if he doesn't finish the game right now, it could backfire on him with the Runick. Just maybe Runick, the smiting could just banish all the cards left in Pauly's deck. So he definitely needs to make sure he can finish him off this turn. I mean, Jesse just sitting on that Mole Cricket. Now he's considering to special summon Scareclaw Kashtira from the hand.
Oh, he's also got the face down Hugin still.
Oh yeah, I forgot that Hugin's kind of still sitting there.
So Fenrir will need to banish that Mole Cricket.
I mean, he has a ton of damage on the field. 26, 3,000, 28, 25.
Banish his Big Bang.
Considering his options.
And a ball.
Looks like it's time to go to the battle phase. Jesse, it may not seem like he has a lot on his field, but those Runick spells, as you mentioned, the deck slimming down, the Runick spells are really threatening to the rest of Pauly's deck. But even if he loses all the cards in his deck, he still has to draw to be running out of cards.
Yeah,
so
Jesse has to live.
Yep, he has to survive and run Pauly other cards at the same time. But the Fenrir effect being able to activate and banish when it attacks will be pretty huge here. Thinks about attacking, puts it back down, picks it back up, and it looks like it is going to be an attack with Fenrir. Decides to go to the Mole Cricket.
Oh, is he going to banish the fountain?
Yep, that's smart, because it's going to force him to use any Runick spell he has right now, otherwise he won't be able to do it. And it also guarantees after the Runick spell resolves, he won't be able to replenish and draw the cards again. Smart plays here from Pauly.
It looks like Jesse does have something, but what is it?
We're almost 30 minutes into this matchup, and we're still in this game number one. It's been quite a long one.
Ooh, it's freezing curses.
This could be huge.
But who's getting cursed?
It has to be Fenrir, right? I think he's going to... It could be a Rise Heart.
Kashtira or Rise Heart.
They're both good options.
My base is 3.
And his deck is thinning down. Loses Ogre, Talents, and Ash.
And then your
So, the silver song.
yes, sorry.
It looks like maybe you were right. He went after the Arise Heart there before he gets the third material.
Yeah, I think he's trying to keep that material gone.
And it lets him put the Freezing Curses into the graveyard.
We do know he still has a fountain in hand.
I'm going to trigger
The goal here is survival.
Shangri and Birth. Target
So since he activated a spell card, Pauly's going to be able to banish 3 cards from Jesse's graveyard. Going to go after those Runick spells.
and a lock. That's it? Sure. And resolution is that. Trigger again. Lock that one. I'll continue with the attack.
So Fenrir attack finally goes through. I'm pretty sure this is still a game. Because he has Diabola, Scareclaw Kashtira, and the Arise Heart, right? I feel like that should be enough. It's definitely enough with the Pressure Planet Race Soth on the field. Those are all...
Off. They're all a lot. Well, not all of them are. The Rise Heart is, right?
It boosts all your monsters
Is it
by
all of
100.
your monsters?
It's all your monsters for all the different attributes on the field by 100 attack and defense. The card's absolutely insane.
Right, but the attack boost doesn't matter for Kashtira Scareclaw. 'Cause it uses
Oh,
defense.
true. So it is only at 26. But oh look, it actually is over 8,000.
Probably enough.
I guess you know,
Like
fatigue
26,
setting in.
35.
It's kind of hard to add up all the math, even though the writing is on the walls. They're sitting on 0 cards, doing the math and letting all the attacks go through. And Pauly finally takes that game number 1.
Yeah, that enemy controller sealed it.
Oh, it was so good. But that really shows you the deck building and construction going into a tournament is key, because you got to make sure your deck is ready for game 1 against a wide variety of strategies. So including cards that can hit a lot of things. Enemy Control is just one of those versatile cards. You can use it to take your opponent's monsters like Baguska that are slowing you down. You can use it to tribute your monsters off the field, that if there's like a skill drain or something that's trying to negate a monster effect on the field, like Infinite Permanence, chain to tribute that monster off the field to take it. Or the good old classic put your opponent's monster in defense mode won't come up as often, but it's really, really versatile card, why we've seen it, be played for so many years. I mean, we're celebrating the 25th anniversary coming up, this year, and Enemy Controller's been one of those cards that's been around for the past 20.
Always love that dodging around negation type effects. Even back in the early days when Enemy Controller came out after Skill Drain, for instance, that was Dark Crisis, Ancient Sanctuary gives you Enemy Controller for the first time. And, when you play those people that were running, Skill Drain Barbaros decks, being able to get your monster effect and take their Barbaros, pretty good. Pretty nice.
Yeah, I was a big Skill Drain Barbaros guy, and I'd always lose with, like, Brain Control, Tribute for Caius. I'd be like, oh, that's so frustrating. Brain Control, similar to Enemy Controller. But now we are going into game number 2. Jesse is going to be able to go first this game. Pauly went first that game. Was pretty much in the driver's seat the whole time. Jesse tried to fight back into it, but just wasn't able to really get anything going. Pauly playing his deck to perfection. I don't think he made any mistakes in that game to where he was able to make sure he found that path to win, despite having to worry about really close to losing all the cards out of his deck. So if he may have made that one slight misstep, could have cost him.
Yeah, basically if he picked something else with Diablosis and then continued to make that same play, he would have lost.
Yeah, I think that you bring up a good point. That is the key moment of that match. I mean, we mentioned the Enemy Controller was key, but I think knowing to select that Exciton, because he was going to be able to, it was just rank 4s. That's the only thing he could make. Somehow Pauly knew that was the situation that he was going to be putting Jesse in. Maybe he knows this matchup pretty well. I know a lot of players, like, even though the Naturia Runick deck has been around for a little bit now, it's not one that a lot of people have faced too many times. Maybe at your OTS no one's really running it. Well, I'm sure after this weekend they will be. But you can definitely catch a lot of people off guard sometimes with your strategies.
Looks like they've made their selections, now we're just shuffling up.
I know I'm going to build a Naturia Runick deck after this. You sold me on Beast Barkion. If I can summon both those cards again, I am definitely down. When I used to play X-Sabers, it was always my goal to get Beast Barkion Gozen matchup. I just loved them. And now that I can do it again, I'm definitely going to take a chance at that. I think we hear Pauly talk. Maybe he was scared about decking out. That was pretty much Jesse's only win condition there.
I feel like the last time I saw Beast and Barkion was back when they were being used in Karakuri.
Karakuri's a good one.
I think that was the last time I remember them. They were playing the Karakuri solo gate in Master Duel. And Karakuri mirror matches are really strange with all the monsters switching back and forth all the time.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Beret, but I did just get a quick update of our 3rd, 4th playoff match. Xu Ping ended up coming in 3rd place, winning 2-0. So that means Kashtira Runick coming in 3rd place at the 250th YCS here in Los Angeles, California.
I liked his deck a lot.
Oh, it's really cool. There he is, the myth, the man, the legend. It's Xu Ping. He's a YCS champion, UDS champion. There's his messenger pack he just got. He's waving there with his prize card that he just won. Really good guy, and awesome to see him do so well here in such a landmark event.
All right.
But yeah, with a really cool deck, as you were mentioning, that Runick Kashtira, it's just, Kashtira's a strong control deck, and the Runick deck is even more of a control deck, so they just synergize together so well, unexpectedly a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like our players are ready here, so let's get on to game 2. Is this going to be the last one of the night, or are we going the distance in the final 18th round of the tournament?
I can only imagine. But Pauly being one game win away from winning it all, I know he can almost taste it. Let's see what Jesse is going to open up with here. Unless he let Pauly go first. Pauly's looking at his hand like he's going first. Nope, he's not. Jesse's going to lead with a Runick tip to probably add a Runick Fountain from his deck to his hand. Looks like he indeed is grabbing Fountain. That's going to banish the top card.
Prosperity. All right. Activate Fountain next.
Now, does he have another Runick spell to go into Hugin? He does. Smiting Storm.
The Runick Smithing Storm. Yeah, Smiting Storm. It's in that one for the time.
Summons Hugin to the field.
All right, and now he's going to discard Triple Tactics Talent. Looks like a Starlight Rare.
I guess you don't need Triple Tactics Talent if your opponent just doesn't have Ash. Or
Yeah, it's probably pretty good going like into the Kashtira board. Not so good when they haven't done anything quite yet. We do see that Dark Ruler no more in Pauly's hand. I wonder if that's going to play a key part in this board breaking when whatever board Jesse decides to put up. Right now, we've only seen him access the Runick part of his deck,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
and they got to go to the
Yeah,
bottom.
you got to put those back first. Before
Doesn't make much of a difference.
Draws 2 more.
Nope, here's the other part of his strategy. Once you get both online, you're ready to go. Camellia's going to send down Naturia Mole Cricket.
Blessings up next. Summon back the Mole Cricket.
Yep, no Sacred Tree here. Just had to hard draw that blessing, but it's going to work.
Use cricket effects. Middle 2.
So he's going to be able to use the Cricket instead of tributing. He's going to be able to send the top 2 cards in the deck to the graveyard. He's going to send a Runick spell and a Naturia Camellia to special summon a Naturia monster from the deck to the field.
Second copy of Camellia. And that can activate as well.
So he's got a stew going. Camellia and the Hugin are going to go.
Cannot activate as well.
Gonna synchro for a Coral Dragon. Now he's gonna replace Runick Fountain with another Runick Fountain. This is a strong opening here from Jesse, representing the great state of Texas.
Special summon a new monster to the extra monster zone.
That's gonna be Gary. Gary's a level 4 monster, so he'll be able to synchro with that in the Coral Dragon for a Baron de Fleur.
Gonna put all those Runick cards back and draw a new one to replace each.
Yep, so he's going to be drawing, he's already drawn 5 cards this turn. It'll be a 6th one from the Coral Dragon.
So 6 and 4. Makes Baron.
These players are lucky we're in the finals, otherwise the time would be about to be called in a normal round match.
Gets the extra draw from Coral Dragon there.
Does he have a 3rd fountain?
He might have a 3rd fountain.
Wow.
There it is.
3 copies of Runick Fountain being activated here on Jesse's first turn. Going to be following up with a Freezing Curses. Going to use that to special summon another Runick monster from the extra deck. So the cool thing about Runick decks when you splash them in with like decks with tuners is as long as you keep synchroing with those monsters, you can keep special summoning more monsters to the field that uses materials for your synchro summons.
He's going to pick up a fountain. And then with fountain, put a card back and draw 1 more card.
So he's drawn 3, 2, 1, 1. So that's 7 cards this turn. Now we're going to see a synchro summon here. That's a 4-star and a 1-star. They're both Earth monsters. That's Naturia Beast. Naturia Beast lets you negate a spell card just by sending the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard.
And that's not a once per turn. So
Oh,
just
no,
keep
it is
doing
not. Now, since he summoned a Naturia monster, he'll be able to special summon back that Naturia Mole Cricket. Hops right back onto the field. And this is it. Here we go. Pauly's turn. If he can find a way to break this board, he's going to be in the driver's seat to become the 250th YCS champion. Dark Ruler, no more. Won't be able to do any damage, but the Naturia Beast can't negate it, the Baron can't negate it, and now all his monster effects that are faced on the field are negated for the rest of the turn. Jesse does still have Fountain access, so he'll be able to activate Runick quick play spells from his hand, but this is still huge here for Pauly. It's kind of funny that there's a spell card that can turn off Naturia Beast.
6 banished for Pot of Prosperity.
Let's see what he's going to be taking. It looked like it helped him out that he banished that Pot of Prosperity with the Runick tip, so he didn't have 2 copies of it.
Ooh, so we got Ash, Imperm, Fenrir Unicorn, Kashtira Theosis.
I think it has to be Fenrir if he doesn't have a Kashtira monster. If it's not, it might be the Theosis. And if he grabs the Ash, that means he already has everything he needs in the hand.
Another like crazy hand from a Kashtira duelist. Couldn't
No.
be this tournament.
Couldn't be.
Couldn't be.
And it looks like he is going to grab the Kashtira Theosis, so it means he probably has. Oh, yeah, we can see some Kashtira monsters in hand. Special summons Kashtira Fenrir. Since he doesn't control any monsters, you can just special summon that Kashtira from the hand.
We're going to see like a freezing curse.
Yep, this Runick Fountain is Jesse's lifeline right now.
Activates to add another Kashtira.
Can I read the Theosis? Thank you.
We get the text of the Theosis. Saves a little time having to look up Neuron.
I think we're all
all
for
know
saving a
it's
little
there.
bit of time. Let him read it. It's perfectly fine.
We all know it's there.
Yep. You're always allowed to ask. You look up the cards on Neuron to see what they actually do.
Freezing curses to negate.
Not always. It has to be actually relevant.
Yeah, well, yeah, when it happens, yeah. If you need to see a card, or if your opponent has like a foreign card or something like that.
And he does have the freezing curses. All right. Probably checking to make sure that he can't just get another Fenrir off of it.
Has to be a different attribute at least.
It's a perfectly valid concern.
Certainly. Pauly running through some calculations in his head. Looks like Theosis will be activated. Ooh, flashing fire. This is really good. So he'll be able to take out the Fenrir and gets the Theosis to the graveyard, and he's going to banish some cards off the top of the deck as well.
Birth and another Dark Ruler.
Resolution, I'll attempt to use Fountain. Two.
And that's going to be able to trigger the Runick Fountain to put 2 Runick Quick Plays to the bottom of the deck and let him draw 2 cards. Maybe he'll draw into some more Runick Quick Plays he'll be able to activate from the hand. I like this Naturia Runick deck. It's so cool. Just having the layers of protection, because like when you play Sprite, sometimes like Dark Ruler Noir just ends you, and there's nothing you can really do about it because you invest so heavily in the field. But being able to have something like Runick Fountain face on the field, you add layers of interactions, so you don't just lose the one blowout card usually. But he does have Scareclaw Kashtira that's going to be able to banish Theosis, and then that Theosis will trigger to add back the banished Kashtira Birth that got banished by the Runick spell.
That's unfortunate when you just unwittingly give your opponent the exact card they need.
Kashtira Birth so strong. It lets you normal summon a level 7 or special summon back a Kashtira from the banished or graveyard. So he's going to activate the Birth effect to summon that Fenrir, I believe. Oh, I was thinking about...
Actually, can they be activated? Or are they just okay.
He can activate the effect.
They contribute for no effect here.
Yep. Just getting it off the field, not wanting to the Mole Cricket be banished. Once it's in the graveyard, if Pauly does special summon from the extra, he'll be able to bring back the Mole Cricket, though. So just definitely getting in the graveyard so it can come back.
Is the tribute effect the hard ones per turn? Like a tribute?
Yes.
But the tribute effect is once per turn, so he won't be able to use that again. Pauly can taste it. He's close.
Guess I can do this now.
Oh, and since he...
Oh, he used the monster effect!
Oh, no. Nothing's worse than letting your opponent use triple tactic talent and you just didn't even get an effect out of it. Oh, no. I see where his thinking was with it, but
Yep.
definitely a little bit of a punish. I mean, we've seen... Oh, man, that's tough.
I mean, Pauly's hand is so good,
It
though.
is-
You can't really account for them having actually everything.
and it looks like it's... Oh, he's going to take a peek, and Jesse was sitting on Nibiru, and he drew into a grave of the super ancient organism.
Which one we're doing, but
There are a
this-
couple priority targets here. There's some unpleasant things.
Yeah, this game is not over by a long shot.
Take the one Runick card, the Nibiru, the Grave. Is that a dimensional barrier?
It looks like it.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's
I see the
bless you.
Bless you.
the freed there in the corner.
We'll give it a
I think it's freed and rotting captain there on that card, I believe.
And I think Yagagigo.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
can't forget.
right.
Oh, on the other side of the
Dimensional
barrier.
barrier. Yeah, Dimensional Barrier, probably the least threatening card in that entire hand.
Special.
Now he's going to special summon Kashtira Rise Heart from the hand. Did he take the Nibiru?
Yes.
I thought so.
Yes.
Definitely a good one.
This is already 4 summons because of the original Fenrir. Has Flashing Fire been used this turn? It has,
I think
right?
so,
To
yep.
take out the Fenrir in the first place.
Indeed, it has been. So now he's going to overlay the Fenrir and the Scareclaw Kashtira, or yeah, I think it's Scareclaw Kashtira for Shangri-Ira.
Channel 1, channel 2.
Then he's going to use the Rise Heart effect to banish Kashtira Big Bang from the deck to banish the top 3 cards of Jesse's deck.
Monsters on?
And now the Big Bang that he banished will allow him to take that material from underneath Shangri-Ira, add it to the hand, and then special summon it to the field. And that's how that Fenrir got there. What's happening? he's overlaying for a Rise Heart. The Shangri-Ira is moving around, changing to attack mode, but it's because it was becoming a material for the Rise Heart. One good thing Jesse can look at is Dark Ruler no more, no damage. He will have another turn, but what he'll be able to do with that turn.
Rise Heart's a 7, right? So you could make Big Eye.
He could. Big Eye would be. Oh, Big Eye take the Baron to Fleur. The effect would still be negated from the Dark Ruler, but it would come back online on the following turn. Yeah.
Enter battle.
Nope. Looks like he's going straight to battle.
Declare
Gonna want to banish this Runick Fountain for sure.
Fountain. Trigger.
And then, since an effect activated, the mandatory effect of a Rise Heart's going to attach a banished card underneath it. And it looks like he's going to go for Garura, Wings of Resonance. Wings of Resonance?
Out of his face-down banished cards from the pot of Prosperity.
Resonant Life, that's what it is. And then look, ooh, the Fossil Warrior. It's kind of just a pseudo Natis where you're able to, like, I think, shuffle it back.
You can hold off on it and banish it from your graveyard to
Banish
take
it.
out a face-up monster.
Still a pretty good card.
Yeah, main phase 2, grab that Baron. That seems pretty good.
Main phase 2.
Maybe got a.
I see that Big Eye on top of the extra deck. Did you know Big Eye attacks out of his eye?
Yes, I rewatched that episode. I think you also rewatched it for the same reason.
Recently. I was like, that's interesting.
Yep.
So Big Eye gonna take his Big Eye and blast towards Jesse and take that Baron to Fleur. So now he's gonna have that monster that can negate a spell, trap, monster effect, and a Rise Heart on the field. He's gonna go ahead and detach 3 materials here from the Rise Heart to banish the Gary face down.
And that's going to get a 3rd material back on to a Rise Heart.
And it looks like he's going to attach. I was wondering why he was attaching Fenrir of all things, but yeah, he's going to want to go for the Fossil.
And then,
Big Eye, Baron, and Kashtira Rise Heart. This could be the board that will end up making Pauly become the 250th YCS champion.
It's been a good day, I think, to be Kashtira players drawing blowout cards in their opening hand.
Yeah, when Kashtira draws a good hand, it's tough to stop him for sure. It's a powerful deck.
We got that evenly matched from Shuping.
Oh yeah, that's
Dark Ruler no more in this round.
Yeah, anytime you have those huge power cards and then you have a follow-up of a Kashtira monster, the big thing that was happening this game was maybe something Jesse could have prevented, not using that Mole Cricket effect, because it turned on the triple tactic talents that let him rip that Nibiru out of the hand, which might have caught Pauly off guard had he not gotten to see the hand and use the Forceful Sentry-like effect. I know that's probably going to be something Jesse's going to be thinking about tonight in the hotel room.
Still, using that Nibiru would also activate the triple tactics talent.
True. So he might be able to have a way to recover afterwards, additionally. You're right. Can't beat yourself up too much.
Yep, and no damage this turn anyway, so you do have a full health bar. Starts at the fountain. Baron is back on the line.
I was like, wait, didn't he use 3 already? But I forgot Gary added it back from the graveyard to the hand. I see a Sacred Tree. That's not going to be able to go to the graveyard.
Targeting the Rise Heart.
All right, well, maybe it will be. Flashing Fire is going to target Rise Heart. Let's see if this makes Pauly use the Baron de Fleur. It does. Pauly knows all of Jesse's cards except for whatever he drew for the turn. Now, since the card effect activated, he's going to be able to attach a material underneath a Rise Heart. It's going to go for, nope, changes his mind, not Fenrir. Maybe Theosis.
I think we're at the point where it might not be rocket science on this one. You're in a pretty commanding lead.
Goes for Fenrir. Putting the Fenrir under there allows him to, if Big Bang gets banished again, he'll be able to add it to the hand or special summon it. Jesse just going to set 3 cards face down, pass to Pauly, and this could be the final turn of our YCS. Looks like in the end phase, Pauly might be moving to detach 3 materials from a Rise Heart to banish one of Jesse's cards face down. I'm going to go for the middle one. Now the Rise Heart's going to activate to reattach. And the Big Bang is also banished, so he's going to be able to add the Fenrir to the hand, special summon to the field, and attach a new material underneath the Arise Heart.
It's very fiddly. You have to move a lot of cards around to do just a very simple thing.
It's a lot to keep track of, but once you get it down, it's usually not too bad. Now he's going to go to main phase 1. Let's see if he uses his Baron effect. These last few matches have just gone the distance. We are almost 50 minutes into, no, we're past 50 minutes into this round. There was 65 minutes on the clock to start it, and now we're down to 13. Still in game number 2.
Just looking to try to guarantee that he wins, just to make absolutely certain that there's nothing there.
Yeah, I mean, when you're this close to the finish line, you don't want to trip a few feet away.
Go to battle. Sorry, we go to main phase. So Baron can take out a card.
Gonna special summon the Rise Heart. So that's an effect, right? So that should trigger the Rise Heart here. Oh, now he's using the effect to banish. Banishes Theosis. Banishes the top 3 cards of Jesse's deck face down. A Rise Heart's going to trigger to attach a material. And the Theosis will trigger to add a banished Kashtira card to his hand. So he's going to go for Scareclaw. And Jesse's seen enough, and that's going to do it. Pauly is our 250th YCS champion here for North America. A 2-time YCS champion.
And a really dominating performance in the finals there.
I would say 0 misplays.
Nope, that was very, very good. Everything from what he chose with Diablosis to the whole finish there in that last round, making sure to get all the materials in the right place on the Arise Heart to keep things going. Great start, though. Great start in that game, too, for Jesse. It's just he had the Dark Ruler, and everything went downhill from there.
Yeah.
Really, only thing you could do different on Jesse's side, I think, is not use that Mole Cricket, and might not have mattered. That's how good Pauly's start was there.
Yeah, I think so. I think it still would end up going in Pauly's favor because, yeah, even though Jesse was able to draw so many cards, those Runick Fountains, all his resources are committed.